Hey everybody, how's everybody doing tonight? I forgot to turn the other light on. So we are going to talk tonight about, are you smart enough to see what's going on with Iran? Okay, so showtime exactly. I just texted that to somebody. Are you smart enough to know what's going on with Iran? So we're going to jump into that in a minute. So I'm sure most of you out there, hopefully, that are watching this, are definitely smart enough to see what's going on. This is I'll call this. Well, we'll get into it in just a second here, but there's definitely this is going to be an interesting chat. I can't wait to hear you guys' feedback on this topic because it is definitely interesting. Um, so yes, today we finally had a day for most of the day, I should say, without rain, but then it decided to rain later this afternoon. But very interesting. I will say, on a good note, that for the third day in a row this week, I walked 4 days last week. I walked 3 days in a row this week, even with the rain. I did 3.6 miles today. So building it up to five. Once I hit 5 miles, then I start adding weight. So, but all right, let's get into the topic. Bring this a little bit closer here. So, all right. So, are you smart enough to see what's going on with Iran? Okay, it reminds me, it's like a deja vu thing, which is absolutely amazing to me that people were so snowballed in BS the first time with Iraq. Okay, so if anybody remembers Iraq, we had, oh my God, Iraq, this huge threat, weapons of mass destruction. Oh my God, we have to go in there and we have to stop it, right? And the whole time that was going on, I remember back then. Now I got to tell you guys, I mean, anybody that's watch my place or see, I fly the U.S. flag all the time. Always fly my flag. Very proud. I'm proud to be an American. Um, when we declared war on Iraq, I took my flag down. I'm going to be honest with you, and I did it because all of a sudden everybody on the street that I was living with was flying a flag, like rah 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 America. And I just said to myself, even then, can they not see how badly they're being manipulated? I just could not believe that people could not see the manipulation. Once again, here we are being manipulated once again. And it's amazing to me that they think that we are that stupid to believe any of the nonsense that they're feeding us. And like I just saw an article today, and Iran, they are shipping hundreds of $1 million to terrorist groups. Somebody's always got to be the boogeyman, and it's amazing to me that people just continue to fall for this. Now they talk about the attack on the different oil tankers and stuff like that in the Strait of Hormuz and all that type of stuff. Okay, and they're trying to pin that on Iran. So Iran's in the background saying, no, it's not. I'm going to tell you what, realistically, guys, for all the grandstanding and all the bluster and talk, Iran does not want to screw with the United States. They really, truly do not. Okay, they really don't, because they know if they mess with the United States, they are in deep trouble. I mean, we wipe them out. I mean, there's just absolutely no doubt about it. And I'm not talking about going in and putting boots on the ground and all that kind of stuff. You know, we would go in there and we would nuke them, and that would be the end of the story. So that's the thing. It's amazing to me, just the subtle things that the people, the media is putting out there, that they're obviously being told to put out there, and that, again, people are just continuously just feeding into that and going hook, line, and sinker again, and they're the latest boogeyman. For a while, Iran. So Danny, yeah, they are, Danny. Iran is afraid of the United States. Most people that have any kind of sense would be afraid of the United States. Anybody with enough common sense should be afraid of China. Anybody with enough common sense should be afraid of Russia. We are the three biggest kids in the sandbox, and we have the most toys, and we could turn you into a parking lot. That's just the reality of it. So, there's no way, in my opinion, that Iran wants any part of the United States. They can do all the bluster and say that the warships that are going over there are a target. They're not a threat. Well, they know that they're a threat. It's, yeah, all war is manipulated, and the common man pays for it. I'm afraid for the, yeah, exactly. And he's 100% right. We are completely manipulated, and who pays? Small town, city boys and girls all over the country. Not the elites, not the rich. They will make sure that their kids get exemptions, why they can't go, and all this type of stuff. It's small town boys and girls that'll go and fight and die for what? Again, oil. And in this case, there's also that little hidden thing back in the closet called Israel. We are doing Israel's bidding, and don't think that we're not, guys. That is a big part of it too. And I'm not anti-Jewish, don't get me wrong. Anybody that follows my channel knows that I am not anti-Jewish. But we do a lot of Israel's bidding. Israel will not go in and do that type of stuff with Iran because the entire Middle East would attack them. So they use us, Iran has 85 million population, Iraq 38 million population. And again, they don't have the technology that we have. And, to get into any kind of a situation with us, guys, it would not be smart at all. I did want to say something. I had a couple of people contacted me earlier today, and they were saying they were not getting my notifications. My last couple of live chats, they said they didn't get. Last couple of videos, they didn't get. And so I was talking to them, through email, letting them know I'm going to be on tonight. So wrong says Iraq vets. Danny Richardson, what do you mean? I don't know what you mean, Danny Richardson, so if you would elaborate, that would be great. If you guys were, anybody that's over in a war situation, okay, number one, they don't want to be there. They'd rather be home with their families, I'm just looking at what you guys were saying here. Who supplied Iraq insurgents with sharpened charges? I have no idea. Was it? Well, you got to understand, Iraq and Iran were at war for like 10 years where they were killing each other left, right, and center. So I don't think that they're, I'm not saying Iran is completely innocent, guys. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying, they really don't. If you're a Chihuahua, okay, let's say that's Iran. Iran is a Chihuahua. And they're going to go up against a pit bull? I don't think so, because you know who's going to win in that contest? It's going to happen every time, okay? So it's the same type of situation. John Rose says, I keep liking your videos when I go back. It's unlike, yeah, there's a lot of games going on with YouTube right now, a tremendous amount of games. I went from getting 100 plus subs a day, 20,000 views on my videos a day, to down to maybe 8,000 or 6,000 views, and maybe picking up 15 subs or losing subs. Absolutely crazy. YouTube is definitely playing all kinds of games. They're definitely targeting certain channels. Anybody that's out there speaking the truth that doesn't peace doesn't make money. You're right, George. You are 100% right. Chihuahuas are good eating. Yeah, right, exactly. But it is amazing to me, again, like I said, that, they're these war hawks, if you will. And I'm going to tell you what, not all Americans want to go to war, guys. They don't. I was in the service. A lot of those guys, all we wanted to do was do our time and go home. They were not looking to, hey, let's go kill somebody, or let's go get into some conflict over oil, because at the end of the day, what does it come down to generally? We are fighting for oil. That's what it always comes down to. If you look at it, the realistic, what happens, we got into Iraq because we cared about people? Absolutely not. We cared about oil. It was about control. Again, the same thing if we get into a conflict with Iran, it's, it absolutely is total, complete control. And war is money. You are correct. And that's why they want to keep wars going. That's why with Iraq and Afghanistan, why we continue, and even now we're still in Afghanistan, we're still in Iraq. You know what I mean? So you figure the fighting goes on because that's big business. If we got all these troops over there, it cost a tremendous amount of money. Are we going to war with Iran? I don't think so, Gord W. I don't think we will. I hope we don't. I think if it ends up happening, the way that it will be done, it will be a false flag event where they blame some kind of event on Iran to use to make them look like the bad guy, and we will go in and we will squash them. That's exactly what would happen. That's exactly the way that they will do it. We have to always pretend to be like we're the good guys. America, I'm talking about the United States. Always got to pretend that we're the good guys, that we don't do anything wrong. We follow the Geneva Convention. We always do everything right, which is total crap. Okay, torture, all that type of stuff, that happens all the time, guys. And all countries do it. I'm not just but all countries do it. And somebody said exactly, and we will make it happen. Absolutely, if we want it to happen. Meaning the government, the people in charge, if they want it to happen, it's going to happen. And unfortunately, the tanker incident, they're trying to use that as an excuse. Absolutely. No, they probably won't use nukes, Wolfgang. I mean, I'm just saying that if there was a true situation where they wanted to end stuff to get it over with, but they don't. That's the whole thing. They're going to send my children, your children off to war to die for nothing. And I'm going to tell you what, I don't want to see that happen. Obviously my daughter's going to college, so and my son couldn't go into service anyway. So, but over greed of the government, you got it, Terrence. Our soldiers are dying for greed, for oil, for power control, and for those big businesses like Halliburton and Boeing to continue to make a lot of money making the war machine stuff that we need for the war. It will never stop. Absolutely. There will definitely be, hey, Mountain Girl, if we did go to war with Iran, Russia will surely get involved. Let's worry about our own people for once. I agree with you 100%. And thank you, Hun, for the donation. I appreciate that. I agree with you 100%. We need to take care of our own people here in the United States. We got to stop. We got to stop playing these games all over the world. We got to stop it. It's a no-win situation in the long run. Why do you think these people hate us so much around the world? I mean, it's no mystery. People think, oh, America's the greatest country, blah, blah, blah. As long as you do what we say, as long as you follow the rules, then we're fine. If you don't, then we squash you. I mean, it's terrible. We need to mind our own business. We need to take care of our own country. And, and Israel wins. In the end of the day, you're absolutely right. They sure do. Starting with our homeless vets. You are absolutely right, David. Why are we busing in all these illegal immigrants into our country on a daily basis, putting them up in hotels, making sure that they're fed, and we have homeless veterans on the street, starving, mental health issues, 100% agree with that, and they have no place to sleep. Why are they not getting a hotel room? That would be my question. And I'm sure that happens around the, like in the UK, veterans over there, veterans up in Canada. I'm sure it's the same situation over there for you guys too. It's absolutely crazy. I had many German friends. I missed that one. I'm sorry. But it's absolutely crazy. Yeah, why so many bombers and carriers in the Middle East then? Exactly. Yep, they will bombard the crap out of them. That's the way that they would start it. They would do certain airstrikes to certain areas, to take out their infrastructure. Which the best part is, then what do? We go in and we rebuild it. It is amazing. Yeah, the Iranian people are not bad people. Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. Actually, the average Iranian person likes Americans, but unfortunately, with the radicalization, and I say the radicalization, I mean both on the part of Americans and Iranians, that hatred builds for whatever perceived wrong or whatever perceived thing is going on. And so, that's, gets these people all fired up. And like I said, we just like we did to Japan. Exactly. We bombed them. We went in and we rebuilt. And we did the same thing in Iraq, So again, And it's ridiculous. It's absolutely crazy. So who's making all that money? Think about that. Who's actually benefiting from war? It's great for the economy. So if the economy is starting to do poorly, well, we got to drum up a war, first of all, because we need to keep the population down. So if we kill a whole bunch of people, we keep the population down. If we can, have control and everybody does what we say, again. Now think about this too. Now, is this little event being all orchestrated to drive the price of oil up? Could be. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys have been checking your gas prices, but they're sure not going down. It's $500,000 for one Humvee. Yeah, exactly. And then, it's just, it's craziness, guys. I mean, it's craziness. And like I said, the constant manipulation that is going on through the media. Again, what wins wars? Hearts and minds, okay? So if you have the country behind you, then you can stay there indefinitely. Now, in Vietnam, they did not have the hearts and minds of our own populace. So it was a war people didn't want to be in, so they wanted us out of there. So eventually, we had to leave. But, we're still in Iraq. We are still in Afghanistan because of the lies, the manipulation. We're helping the people. No, we're not. We could care less about the people. I mean, let's be 100% honest. We could care less about those people. It's a very real possibility. If they want to make it happen, if they want war, they're going to make it happen. They're going to make Iraq or Iran look like the bad guy, that they supposedly did something, and we will retaliate. And that's how that would start. And then where it goes from that point, it would be crazy. $30 homemade bomb destroys a $500,000 Humvee. It happens. I mean, the bombs that they have, the way that they do stuff. And hey, Cheeky, thank you very much. He said, high functioning autistic. God bless you and your son. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Will there ever be another American fighting Jewish wars and will kill millions of Christians just like the Bolshevik Revolution? Thank you. And thank you for the donation. Merry Christmas. I appreciate that. But yeah, it's we're and actually it makes a great point. We're fighting Jewish wars. What do we have? Iran, guys, again, I'm going to say this, and just like when the whole Iraq situation happened, and even Afghanistan, they are no threat to us. None whatsoever. If they stand over there killing each other off by the hundreds of thousands, it will not affect anything with us, okay? But because of the minerals and all the other stuff that's in Afghanistan, that's why we're there. The oil in Iraq, that's why we're there. So, and again, Iran, it's about control. They won't beat to our drum. They won't do as they're told, essentially. So we're going to do what we're going to do as a government, and not the people. Because I'm telling you what, right now, I think that the people don't want to hear that. They don't want it. Israel wants war. That's what I heard. Of course they do. They would love to have. Iran is a threat to Israel. They are not a threat to the United States. So who Iran is, again, like I said, Iran is not going to go in there, guys, and fight that fight, because they would have every Middle Eastern country coming at them. They won't do it because of that reason. So they'll have us, we're their big bully. We're their protector. And, and that's how it goes. Oh, Canandaigua Lake. How you doing there, Jerry? Or Gary, sorry. You're not that far from me. Not that far at all. But yeah, we do as, like I said, we do their bidding, and it's weird. How does that work? Why is that the way it is? You know what I mean? So, Israel has nothing to do with this. It's just a namesake. Smitty, I don't agree with you. Iran is a threat to Israel. And like I said, a lot of times we have done Israel's bidding over and over and over again. So, U.S. sold all tollways and all national parks in the U.S. to China to pay debt. I don't think that's the case, Blue Feather. I don't think so. I had not seen that anywhere, because that would have been all over the news if that was the case. Yeah, the opiate outbreak is because America is because of exactly the poppy fields in Afghanistan. If you remember correctly, when the Taliban took over in Afghanistan, they started burning the poppy fields. They got rid of the opium. They didn't want that. Okay, we could not allow that to happen because that's big business. And you look what's happened since we, the United States, have gone over into Afghanistan. Actually, U.S. troops protect the poppy fields, and that's a fact. War with Iran, Greater Israel Project. Merry Christmas just said that. And thank you again for the donation. Merry Christmas. But, yeah, then now the CIA runs it. Exactly, Kevin. You're right. It is absolutely 100%. My opinion on radical Islam in the U.S. There are definitely splinter groups. There are sleeper cells in the United States. I guarantee you that there are. Let me just say this first of all, guys. Not all Muslims are bad. They are not. Most of the Muslims are just like anybody else. They just want to do their religion. They want to live their lives. They want to be in peace, okay? But yes, there is a fringe group. Just like there are, you have the Ku Klux Klan is a fringe group. You have white supremacist fringe groups. You have black groups that are fringe groups. You have other different entities of every race. And Islam is not a race, first of all. Islam is a religion, but you have a percentage of them that are very radicalized that want to see the destruction of the United States. So yes, they are here in the United States, and they do want to cause us trouble. They would love to see us dead. That is a fact, okay? And if there is some kind of event and they can orchestrate something and cause us problems, and again, I've said it before, the way if I was a terrorist organization or if I was in a group that was looking to do harm to the United States, I would go after the power grid. That would be the way to do it. So why isn't our government drastically hardening our grid, making it so that, it's harder for them to do that? Why? So what do they do instead? They legalize marijuana all over the place, keep us all dumbed down, keep us drunk and high and not thinking about stuff and not caring. And that's what happens. Keep us distracted, guys. Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. That's a lot of what's going on here. You watch and see. There will be an event that happens. It might not even be over there. It might be in the United States, blamed on somebody that is not actually responsible for, and that will cause problems. And you will see things that happens. There's only one type of Muslims that believe in killing. The majority don't. You are absolutely right, Terrence. I agree with you 100%. 90% of them are good people. 90%. I've worked with Muslims, and I had no issues with them. They didn't have any of me. They didn't care. You know what I mean? They did their thing. I did mine. I believe the Iraq would be better off if they split Iran. I didn't see the rest of that. Sorry. Drums of war beating in the UK. There's a lot of stuff going on. 10% of $1 billion. You're right. You know what, Disposable Soldier? You're 100% right. 10% of 100 million. Yeah, that's crazy. It's a lot of people. But not all, like I said, you can't blame everything on all of them. You just can't. A lot of them are just doing their own thing. And don't get me wrong. What do we see on TV? Okay, let's think about what we see. One of the recent things we saw on TV was down in Philadelphia. There was a mosque, and they were, had little kids talking about cutting the heads off of, their enemies, And so, of course, that's sensationalized throughout the news because we want to have a jaded view of all Muslims. You got to look at the agenda of what's going on, okay? And you have to sit down and think. You have to filter through the BS, guys. You really, really do. Again, and guys, if you would give me a thumbs up, I would appreciate it. I appreciate the support, and we got a great crowd in here tonight, which is absolutely awesome. I believe that you said Venezuela and Iran are tied together. You know what? The distraction with Iran could be because we're doing other underhanded stuff in Venezuela. What's that, honey? Okay, that's fine. Is that the last one out of that box?
Yeah, there's
Eddie. Say hi to everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, L. Gibson, thank you for the donation. War is a setup for sure. I could guess it has to do with folks wanting to clean the swamp. It could be part of it, too. Absolutely, it could be part of that. And he's getting a pop for his sister.
Yeah, and I gotta shave tomorrow because my finger hair is getting pretty bad.
Okay. Well, you shouldn't shave every day, Bubba.
No, I shave like every 2 days.
Okay, that's fine because you're getting razor burn on there otherwise. He's got his beard's starting to come in, so he likes to keep it clean shaven. So anyway, but yeah, there is a lot of manipulation going on, a lot of different distractions, a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that we will never see. Okay, do not be fooled. We have troops on the ground in Venezuela, either be it special forces guys or something like that, trying to mess stuff up down there. Guaranteed that's happening. Again, the whole situation with Iran, all of a sudden now Iran's the boogeyman again. Where did that come from? You know what I mean? Let's think about it, guys. You got to really look at it rationally. You got to look at what's being done and why it's being done. Okay? Everything that is going on is a distraction for something else. And the last thing we need as a people or anybody else, John Bolton, he loves that. He loves war. He absolutely loves war. There are UN troops training in the U.S., Jake just said. I believe there probably are. I'm sure there are. But do I think it's a false flag? I think it's a distraction. If they really want to do something with Iran, they will cause something to happen to blame it on Iran to have us retaliate. Guaranteed. If it's going to happen, watch and see if that doesn't happen that way. And it will be completely blamed on Iran, and then we will be forced to retaliate. That will be how it will be interpreted. So keep your eyes open. Yeah, prepare for any and all scenarios. That's how I roll. Absolutely, Mountain Girl. I agree with you 100%. 100%. So you have these different countries, and it's just like them declaring the Iranian Republic Guard or whatever they are is a terrorist organization. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy, guys. I mean, again, do your research. I've talked a lot about this in the past. Do your research. Find out what's going on. Don't be manipulated. Don't let them manipulate you. You know what I mean? Don't jump on that war wagon and beat that drum because, again, it's not going to be their children that go and die. It's our children that are going to go die. People that are watching this live chat, it's our children, guys. That's the ones that are going to be sent off to the slaughter for the corporations, for the big oil companies, for all of that type of stuff. So why? I read where Colorado has decriminalized psychedelic mushrooms now. Yeah, well, again, you know what? I actually saw that as well. If you can keep people distracted, drugs, alcohol, whatever else, you're not going to be focusing on what the real problems are. So, oh my God, yay, I can get stoned. So you're stoned and you don't care. You care about having a nap and having a sandwich. That's all. So, and of course then, if you are a medical marijuana user, well, then we get to take your guns away too. So isn't that awesome? So again, guys, pay attention. What did the stock market do today? It was up over 100 points today. So the market last couple days has rebounded from the 600-point loss. It's picked 300 points or so, a little more than 300 points back up in the last 2 days. Wow, your electric bill was $360. That's crazy. Well, yeah, somebody just said Iran is the war of choice. Like I said, we have to have a bad guy. Always got to be somebody that we're going to use as the example. We're going to set an example. We're going to show you. And it's crazy, guys. It's crazy. It's sad but true. And, it's we need to really, really pay attention. We need to look through, see what's being said, pay attention, filter out the BS, and try to find the truth in there, okay? And stay focused, guys. Honestly, I'll tell you, I would be prepping more now than ever before if I were you guys, to be honest with you, just because of the possibility of stupid stuff happening that we're going to get pulled into, and it's going to affect us all. It is absolutely going to affect us all. Get your prep squared away. I have talked many times. The number one thing, everybody's going to say water, which I agree. Water is very, very important. Fresh water is going to be huge. After that comes food. If you don't have food, you're going to be in deep trouble. So food is a huge thing. Again, diversify your preps. Get all kinds of different preps together. That's really, really important, guys. I've also talked about getting groups, having a group together. Really, really important. Again, a great way to do that, you go to my website, preppernurse1.com. We have the Prepper Nurse One community, totally free to join. You can hook up with like-minded people in your state or in your country, talk, find out, share information, maybe form a group. That's the best way to do it. Best way to do it. So, Iran's army is the third biggest army, but their brain intel tech inferior. They may have a big army, but again, like I said, if we're dropping bombs on them, there's nothing they can do about that. I don't care how big their army is, and we would control the air, absolutely control the air. So, but anyway, again, if you want to hook up with like-minded people, go to my website. Totally free to join, very private. Nobody can just jump in there and see anything. You have to be registered, okay? And again, it's totally free. So, yeah, guys, please hit the like button if you would. I would appreciate it. Again, somebody asked if there's going to be a draft. You have to register now already. So if we got into a really, really bad situation, I absolutely think that they would initiate a draft again. I really, really do. Moab, yep, that bomb would be the one that you'd want to use, absolutely. Mother of all bombs. So that's because they used one of those in Afghanistan, if I am not correct, just because they wanted to try it out. What starts thinks the best to live in the prepper or to be? You know what? If you can do both, if you can be a prepper and live off grid, that's great. That is definitely the way to do it. Again, there's a couple things you guys got to be ready for. Okay. You need to be physically ready. So you got to get your body in decent shape to be ready. I started exercising again, as you guys know. Anybody that watches my channel knows I started walking again last week. I walked 4 days last week. I've walked 3 so far this week. I'm going to continue bump it up, and do that. So I'm trying to physically get back into better physical shape. You need to be mentally sharp. Okay, so what do I mean by being mentally sharp? It means staying off the drugs, staying off the alcohol, staying off the narcotic medication, staying off the antidepressants that are going to screw with your mind, okay? Don't let them control you, okay? So you need to be mentally sharp, okay? The other thing is to be prepared, to be as ready as you possibly can be for what's coming. Very, very important. Bad things are coming. I have absolutely no doubt. They're definitely going to start something somewhere, okay? That's how they roll. They want to have war, okay? They really, truly do. And it's amazing to me, what happens to Canada if a war is started? I would say Canada will go on the U.S.'s side like they always do. They will always back up the U.S. Even with Trudeau in office, he would have to. Or otherwise, he would definitely... Well, you guys are going to get rid of him anyway in October, so hopefully you guys do up there in Canada. But, hey, Amy. She said, we love and appreciate you, P. And thank you very much, Amy. And thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Canada only has 25 people. Come on now. Let's not be mean to our Canadian brothers and sisters up there. There's a lot of good people up in Canada, guys. A lot of good people. Unfortunately, you have a lunatic running your government right now. Yeah, it's been too long since a new conflict. They're going to start something. They're going to. They got to keep it going. Best place to live. The best place to live, guys, is to get away from the coast if you can. Do not be on the coast. New York City, I would not be anywhere near New York City. And I'm saying that with my stepson living in New Jersey, where he's literally across the river and his view is of the city of New York. So he's too close. He's in a very, very dangerous spot, to be honest with you. So, you know, New York City would be a huge target. Lower elevation is not good to be. You want to be higher elevation if you can. You definitely want to stay away from nuclear power plants if you can. High density population areas. If the more you can, the farther away from all that you can get, the better. You know, I mean, that's just, you know, it's, you got to think about those things. Look at where that radiation is going to go. Okay. You know, like let's say New York City got hit. Thank goodness for me, from where I'm at, it's well below me. New York City is over 300 miles away from my current location, but it's south of me and, you know, west of me. So if they had nuclear fallout, most likely because of the winds, it's going to blow it out over the ocean. It's not going to blow it our way. And if it blew it west, it would go underneath me. But, you know, it would, Missouri should be a good spot. Arkansas should be a great spot to be. If you get up in the hills in the Appalachian Mountains, another good area to be. If you can get into the hills in South Carolina, in the hills of Tennessee, those are in the Ozarks, right? Exactly. Good places to be. Higher elevation. You know, New York has a lot of great. Why the coast? Tsunamis, high density population areas. When things break out, guys, and you have 12 million people all clustered into a small area trying to all fight for resources or trying to get out, that's a nightmare. You don't want to have to be in that mix of that stuff, because you're going to see the worst of humanity in those type of situations. So the further away that you can be from that nonsense, the better off you're going to be. So, you know, so those are things to think about. Yeah, this war's going to happen. Gord, yeah, you're right. It's going to happen sooner or later. You know, yeah, that's another spot. Somebody was saying a lot of wealthy Americans are buying land in New Zealand. They don't, and I've heard that too. A lot of them are building basically bunkers and stuff like that in New Zealand because it would be a safe place to be. So, you know, there's definitely, yeah. Now, Survival Prepping 101 just said winter in Canada is a force all in itself. You are absolutely right. Hey, Aaron, thank you for the donation. I think the next war will be a setup just like 9/11 was, and I agree with you 100%. Absolutely agree with you 100%. It's a false flag that's used to. Here's my thing, guys. If we went on just the information from 9/11, why didn't we go attack Saudi Arabia? Because most of the supposed people that were doing that were from Saudi Arabia. Why didn't we go after Saudi Arabia? Why did we go after Iraq? Let's think about that for a second. And that's just one thing. We're going to do a whole 9/11 thing, guys. I definitely plan on doing that. But that'll be enough. That'll be for another day. Yeah, a lot of information with New Zealand. If you look it up, there's a lot of bunkers. A lot of the elites have bought land, have bunkers, a lot of food and stuff like that there. A lot of caves in the Ozark Mountains, also in East Tennessee. Absolutely. Caves are going to be huge, guys. You know, getting away from that fallout, you know, getting away from that and getting yourself into a safe area. That is definitely the way you're going to want to go. There is craziness going on, guys. It's, you know, it can be overwhelming and it can be very, very scary. But again, if you stay calm and piece through the stuff and see what's going on. Okay, so Jenna just asked, when is the UFO chat? Little Prepper Lady will be joining me on Sunday. We're going to do the UFO chat on Sunday, and we're probably going to do at least a 2-hour block, an hour and a half for sure, maybe up to 2 hours, depending how the you know, the feedback is and how many people we have. So, what about Australia? Australia is not a bad place to be. You're probably going to be pretty safe there, as far as that goes. But you know, you guys got a whole bunch of your own troubles over there. They've already, for the most part, disarmed you guys. So, you know, you guys are going to be having your whole lot of issues of your own over there. And you're going to be isolated because you're obviously, Australia's an island. So the trade is not going to be there like it is now, especially if there is a huge worldwide event going on. What about Russia and China in the Arctic now? You know, there is, like I said, guys, there's a lot of things going on that we're not privy to. That Yeah, right, exactly. That's a good question. Somebody's asking who blew up the Flight 800 off the coast of Long Island all those years ago. That's a great question. They never did give us an answer for that one, did they? I'm sure they knew who did it though. Like I said, there's a lot of craziness going on. Stay calm, focus, and prepare. That's the best thing that I can say. Oh, I wanted to mention too, while I'm thinking about it, on my website preppernurse1.com, that deal with Legacy is still going on right now, guys, where you can save 25% off any bucket meal that they have. That's the freeze dried foods. Take advantage of that while you can. If you have the extra money to do that, it's a great discount. So please go check it out again, preppernurse1.com. Go into the store part, and all the things are there, and you can get a 25% discount when you check out on any bucket meal that you purchase over there. So definitely check that out as well. Like I said, I have freeze-dried food here. One of the guys in my group, I'm going to tell you, one of the guys in my group 2 weeks ago, he contacted me. He said, listen, I want to put an order in for freeze-dried food. I said, okay. He said, and I want it to come to your place and just be there. And I said, okay. He put in a very large order. And so that food is here. And he knows that that's here. He has other food here on site as well. So realistically, it's him, his wife, and he has 2 children. All I have to do is get here, because that's being part of a group. That's being, and having things on site is very, very important. There's a website called Architects for the Truth, and they list everything that's out there in the buildings for 9/11. And thank you for the donation too, by the way. Yeah, there is definitely 9/11, guys. Like I said, we're going to do a video on that. We're going to do a live chat on 9/11 one of these days. And of course, as soon as I put it up, they're going to demonetize it, because that's what they do. So I may change the title a little bit, but we will definitely be doing a chat about that, and and share our thoughts about that, and how it was, in my opinion, it was done on purpose to draw us into war, and not talk about the 2.3 trillion that was missing from the Pentagon. We'll talk about all that type of stuff. So there was a lot to that. A lot, if you do the research on it and look at it, definitely fishy. A lot of it's very, very fishy. So we will talk about all that. What are my thoughts about Florida? Florida is very flat, with the highest elevation, I believe, being 300 feet above sea level. It would be a nightmare trying to get out of Florida unless you had a boat. And even if you had a boat, now you have to deal with people that are going to be pirating. There's basically one way in and out of Florida, and it would be a nightmare. And because of the heat, if you did not, Midwest, a lot of missile silos out there. If you did not have, air conditioning and stuff like that, trying to get out of Florida with all that heat and stuff like that, very, very difficult. So not a good place to be in a bad situation, guys. Florida would not be a good, especially for people that are not used to that. They're not used to it. It's going to be bad. What if you must hunker down in place? If you've got to hunker down in place, Paul, like I said, be as ready as you possibly can be. Have enough food and water for you and your family for a good period of time, and it will definitely make all the difference. It will definitely be the difference of life and death, to be honest with you. Again, you don't want to appear that you're doing well while everybody else is suffering. That makes you a target, unless you are having a large group, and if you have a way to defend yourself, you're going to be a target. If you're just a family and you're hunkering down and you're trying to ride out the storm, you don't want to advertise that you got stuff, okay? You want to seem as desolate as everybody else. So that would be my advice. People in apartments have it hard. You are absolutely right. That's going to be very, very difficult. And think about this too, guys. And here's something important to think about. And I talked about, getting physically in better shape. If you had to bug out, let's say you had to get out of your situation and you basically have your bug out bag and you have it on, and now you got to walk out. How far are you going to be able to go? And where are you going? You should have some kind of a game plan. So you should have a game plan. You should be physically ready for those situations. So if you're not exercising now, get going with it, guys, because like I said, when bad things happen, which they will happen, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. When bad things happen, this way you can be in a better situation. You can be physically ready. Again, physically ready, mentally ready. Those are the two most important things, honestly. If you had no preps at all and you are physically and mentally ready and you have a game plan, you're going to have an advantage. Now, having supplies and stuff like that on hand as well is going to make a difference too, because you figure within inside of a couple of weeks, most people are going to be starving. They're not going to be thinking rationally. They're not going to be thinking clearly. So as long as you can continue to eat on regular intervals, be able to rest in those type of things, you're going to be a lot sharper than most people. Okay? You're going to be a lot sharper than most people. Franny just says, I have 3 other locations in Maine to go. That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. You know, I have people that I know that I can count on as well. If we had to bug out of here, which I hope to God I never do, but if we had to bug out of here, I do know other people that I have connected with and that I've talked with. They know if they run into a bad situation that they could come here. I know if I ran into a bad situation, I could go there. If you're going from low altitude to real high altitude, push the water so you don't get altitude sickness. L. Gibson just said that. And thank you for the donation to L. Gibson. And that's great advice too. Hydration, hydration, hydration. Even with walking, guys, getting out there, make sure you're staying hydrated. You know, that's really important, especially if no cats on the bed tonight, so I don't know where they are. They're around though, Harvey. Harvey just said, where are the cats tonight? No, I don't have any on the bed tonight. Some are outside and, you know, and all those type of stuff. So one of the things too, guys, I want you to think about too, when an SHTF event happens, think about the number of drug addicts that we have in our country. Okay. They're still going to want their fix. They're going to be looking for anything that they can get their hands on, and they're going to be desperate. We talked about this a little bit before. There's nothing more scary than somebody who's scared and desperate, okay? Then if you throw drug addiction or alcoholism on top of that, it makes it that much worse. It makes it that much worse. Cheryl just said, I'm in a wheelchair, but I still prep anyways. Good for you, Cheryl. I'm glad to hear that. That's awesome. You know what? Don't ever give up, guys. Don't ever give up. Just because maybe, you know, you're not as physically ready as a lot of other people. Again, the biggest weapon, guys. Hey, Brian, how's it going? Thanks, Ed, for all the. Thank you very much. Thank you, and thank you for watching. And the biggest weapon that you guys have out there, we all have them. It's right here, your brain. If you're thinking clearly and you're making good decisions, you're going to give yourself a better chance. Joyce said, I'm 70 and prepping, going to make my hotel for preppers only. There you go, Joyce. Good job. I like that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Cigarettes and chocolate. Yeah, I hear you. Especially chocolate. Yeah, alcohol for bartering, cigarettes. Cigarettes go stale, though. I think if you freeze them, they last longer. But they're definitely a good barter item to have. But I would rather put my money into something more tangible, something that I would use myself. So, I mean, I'm not a smoker, so I don't really care about cigarettes. But I know coffee's a good one. You absolutely. You know what? I'm not a big coffee drinker, as you guys know. I'm more of a tea drinker. But, you know, soldiers and trained warfare personnel will be very valuable to have around an SHTF. You are absolutely right. Any ex-military, Gatorade, guys. Good stuff. If you freeze tobacco, it dries out quick. Okay, I didn't know that. Well, thank you for letting me know that. Yeah, if you can incorporate ex-military guys in your group, that's smart, okay? Blueberries are brain food too. Fish as well. Yeah, absolutely. So blueberry bushes, guys, get them planted. When SHTF a smoker won't care if they're stale. Well, you're probably right about that. Dried dandelion root is an excellent substitute for coffee. Well, that's pretty cool. I did not know that. Thank you for that information. Buy airline-sized bottles of alcohol for barter. Oh, that's one way to do it, Amy. Yeah, that's one way to do it. They have those all the time. You can get those at any liquor store you go to. My family being Canadian since 1607, and we've always been ready for crap to hit the fan. Yeah, you know what? I mean, it's the mindset for a lot of Canadians because of the cold weather and stuff like that. They're definitely have more of that mindset. Now, obviously, they don't in the cities. It's just like any other city, like the cities in the United States. They lose that. You know, they figure store's always going to be there. It's always been there, so we'll just go to the store. So, you know, think about those things, guys. There's a lot to think about. I know it can be overwhelming. It really, really can. But again, you just got to stay focused. You really just got to stay focused. Garlic is a natural medicine full of spectrum survival. Just did a video on garlic and its medical purposes. That's awesome. Yeah, garlic is definitely a good thing to have. Absolutely a good thing to have in your normal diet. If you have garlic in your normal diet, that's really good. Yeah, in the rural areas, absolutely. You know, it's funny. It's like you said that. It's like in the Canadian rural areas, people always prep. Same thing in the United States, guys. The more rural you get, the more prepper-minded people are, and they don't even realize that they're prepper-minded. So, like where I am, you know, and I've talked about this a little bit before. A lot of people. No, I'm divorced, Kimberly. I'm divorced. So a lot of people out here have wood stoves. A lot of people have wells. So, you know, there's a lot of people do canning, you know, in preparation, and they do gardens still and stuff like that. So there's a lot of people, once you get out of suburbia and out of the city, the further out you get into the country, that mindset goes to that naturally to prepare. And that's what people do. Oh, Canadian vet. Okay, cool, Cheryl. That's very cool. You'll be very valuable when SHTF happens. I bought a wood cook stove. Yeah, that's the way to do it. You know, guys, even if you get, and this is, you know, you can get those portable little dinky stoves. They're like this by this, okay? It's got the piping, really, really lightweight. Have that. You can put it in a tent and heat the tent up wintertime, or you can have it in an apartment. Okay, let's say you're in an apartment. That would be good to have. You, as long as you can have things to burn, you can keep a warm room or a room warm. Okay, I was going to say that in reverse, which is kind of crazy, but you know, you can get those little stoves like that, and that can save your life, because the last thing you're going to want to do, especially in the north or in Canada, is freeze to death in the wintertime when you shouldn't have to. You absolutely should not have to. You get many power outages and storms. Absolutely. And that's why a lot of people have, you know, there's a lot of power outages the further out you get. So a lot of people have the backup generators. They have the wood stoves. You know, they have ways to get water. It's a natural thing. Don't forget dehydrating food. Vacuum seal it with oxygen absorbers. Great advice. Absolutely. Good thing to do. Yep. And the guys, the other thing to think too, there's like in nature, there's so many wild edibles, and I've talked about that. You know, you get those books, get those glossy books that you can read and look at, and you can see what is out there, and know what medicines some plants are. Know what plants are edible. You never have to starve in the woods. You never have to, because it's all right there for you. Yeah, you can live a good, healthy life from wild foods. You absolutely can. Dutch ovens are easy to build, and some sandstone to clay. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. But like I said, guys, they have all kinds of stuff out there. And if you can get those little portable stoves, again, really lightweight. I don't even think they weigh 5 pounds to carry. So definitely do that, you know. Yeah, I know. Canada's they want to take away your guys' guns up there now. I know Trudeau there was something where Trudeau was trying to take everybody's guns before the election, and I had actually one of the guys that watches me, and him and I were talking, and he's over in Western Canada, and he said if they try to do that, there will be a civil war up in Canada, which I would not blame you. Be careful using propane indoors. I didn't say use propane indoors. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about wood stoves. Make sure it's vented so that you have, you know, you're getting rid of your carbon monoxide and stuff like that. But, you know, if you have those little wood stoves, and you can use those, and it's not that expensive, and it's a good investment. Hi, baby girl.
Hi.
Come here a second.
No, I look trash.
Oh, she won't come over because she says she doesn't look good.
But I have 4 cats in my room, so.
Oh, you have 4 of them in there? Because they were asking me where the cats were, and I'm like, I don't have any cats on the bed tonight.
Yeah, I have Belle, Socks, Max, and Moose.
Using volcanic lava for heat. There you go. Kerosene, you can use kerosene indoors if you're using it for like lamps. But again, with kerosene, what I would make sure you had a window crack for ventilation. You definitely do not want to die of carbon monoxide poison. That would be not a fun way to go. I mean, you wouldn't feel it, but, you know. Yeah, you know, and again, what I actually plan on incorporating this year, guys, with the weather getting better, I plan on getting a bicycle again. I have a couple, but I need to tweak them. But I want to pick up another bicycle. Yeah, Heather did have another AP test today. She's had 3 this week. So she's basically done now. You know, even though there's like a month of school left, she's basically done. She doesn't have very much left to do. And so she's basically riding it out till she's finished at this point. So, which is kind of crazy. But anyway, but I'm planning on getting a bicycle. That would be, I highly, 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 highly recommend that everybody has a bicycle, okay? Because EMP happens, you have a mode of transportation. Like I've been walking, okay? And I've been telling you about an average of about 20 minutes a mile. So you're looking at 3 miles in an hour. On a bicycle, that's no time, okay? So if you can get a bicycle and you can, you know, get comfortable and ride it on a regular basis, you can go out there. I used to do, when I lived down south, I lived in North Carolina, and I would wait, and people would say I was insane, but I would wait till like noon when it was like the hottest part of the day, and I would jump on my bike and I would go do 20 miles on my bicycle. I would have my bandana on, a pair of shorts, and that's it. And I would go out and I would do 20 miles a day, and it was a great workout. Sweat like a freaking pig. So I always had like 2 water bottles with me the whole time too. Couple extra bikes. Yeah. You could use it for an energy source as well. You're absolutely right, David. Very good advice. Very, very good advice. I can hear it now. It's raining outside again. It's freaking. We actually had some water dissipating today, which was nice because we had 3 straight days of rain, and today it wasn't raining for the most part. Wear a helmet. You know what? I don't wear a helmet on the bike. I don't. Sorry. That's just. Yeah, you know, walking is a great way to get where you need to go too. And like I said, in biking is also great exercise. So if you can have that, and then that way, like I said, after SHDF, you have a form of transportation. The other thing I would definitely suggest you get, they have the baby carriers, and they're not cheap, but it's got the L thing, like it hooks, and it hooks into the bicycle. You could put 60 pounds of gear easy in one of those things. It's like a 2-seater thing. You can fit a lot of gear in there, and there you go. You can take a lot of gear with you on a bicycle, and it's another good way of doing it. We made a wood burner out of 55-gallon drum. Yeah, you know what? Sue, it's funny that you said that. My stepfather had a shop, and what he did is he used 2 55-gallon drums. He had the lower level, and he had a higher level, and that thing would blow you out of that shop. I mean, we used to go and we would play cards in there in the middle of winter. It was awesome, and he made it out of 55-gallon drum, and then just as it got wore out, he just replaced it. Best place to live is an enclosed super greenhouse by the side. Oh yeah, that would be awesome if you could do that. Absolutely. Yeah, that would be Matt, if you could get that, something like that. Because, again, you would have that relationship with the plants. They're giving you oxygenated fresh air, and you're giving them that carbon monoxide, the CO2 that they need to breathe. That would absolutely really good way to do it. Thoughts on steam engine for off-grid power? You know what? You can do that too. Actually, you know what? Now, I got to, talking about off-grid power, I got to talk about this because my mind, when I'm walking, I got a lot more time to think, and it's awesome. So I walk down the one road, and the entire length of the road is a stream that goes down. And I'm looking at these streams and I'm thinking hydro, hydro, hydro. And I'm talking, you could get small units and put them in those streams. And even if they're not running year round, you could run that hydro a lot. And the amount of power, that's going 24 hours a day. So that those streams are just going, going, going. And it would be a great way for a power source. I wish I had a stream running through the property. I'll be honest with you. That would be absolutely awesome to be able to do that. And yeah, it's definitely something that you guys might want to look into if you have a way to do hydropower. Even if you can get the components ahead of time, it might be something that would be awesome to have in a post event. Any way to make power, guys, in a post event, you know, that is real important. What do we got here? Use a motorcycle generator and steam for power. Yeah, you can do that too, absolutely. Like I said, you can make power using a bicycle. You know, you can set that up and use it. Yeah, mules and horses. I mean, there's a lot of things, guys. Old ceiling fans are great for generator power. Yeah, you know, to generate power. Again, if you are creative, guys, again, research, study. That would be my advice to anybody. Really look into stuff. You know, learn that information, you know. So that's real important. I'm going to ask everybody again, if you guys would give me a thumbs up, I would appreciate it. Let's see if we can get it up to 400 before the chat ends. That would be cool. We're at 323. So if you guys could build a wood gasifier to run a generator. That's another wood gasifier is a great way to do things too. A great way to do things. If we have World War III, store food big time. Yeah, guys, I'm telling you. Months and months, I have been saying food. Really, it's so important because water's going to be there. You're going to be able to get to water. You're going to be able to filter water. You're going to be able to, you know, do that. But if you don't have food, it's going to affect you mentally very badly. So definitely important to got to have food. Absolutely. Water's important. Water's number one. But, you know, like I said, DNR won't let us touch the river or streams going through my yard. Well, after SHTF, they won't care. So, you know, that's the reality. After SHTF, guys, they're not going to care anymore. So, you know, that's again, if you can have those things in place and you can have them, that's the way to do it. You know, be prepared as much as you possibly can be. And a lot of things, guys, you don't have to always go out and buy things. A lot of stuff you can get at junkyards, garage sales. You can pick up a lot of stuff really cheaply if you're looking for it. Garage sales are awesome, guys. There's a lot of great stuff, you know, a lot of great stuff out there to be had that you can get really cheap because a lot of people don't realize what they have, you know, and you can get some great deals, especially if somebody has passed away, somebody older has passed away, and the kids are just getting rid of everything because they don't want to deal with it. Great way to get stuff for prepping. Cast iron skillet. You're absolutely right, Wolfang. I've picked up so much cast iron, guys, at garage sales, and cheap, really cheap. Great thing to have. Cast iron is awesome to have. So if you can have cast iron, definitely go for it. Get it if you can. Absolutely. Hey, we hit 400. Awesome. That is awesome. Very cool. Thank you, guys. Hey, listen, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up for right now. Again, Sunday, look for Sunday. Little Prepper Lady will be joining me, and we are going to be doing the talk on UFOs. So I definitely, positive and negative, I'd love to hear your feedback. Again, I have my view on it, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about my own experiences. She's going to talk about her experiences. I'm actually even going to talk about an experience that happened to my mom as well. Okay, so we'll talk about all that. We'll get everybody's thoughts on it. I think it'll be fun. But so that's going to be Sunday, normal time. And people have asked me, I'm on 3 days a week, guys. Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. you will see me. I'm always live chatting on those days. So definitely look forward to hearing from you guys again. Anybody that isn't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Hit the icon button and, so bell notification so you get notified of upcoming videos. And let's all stay positive. Remember, guys, we're all in this together. That's important. Again, don't panic. Stay focused, and you're going to be fine. Really, you will. Also, remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen. Also, remember, guys, STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that's going to stop you, guys, is you. That's it. Nobody else can stop you. Stay away from the negativity. Stay positive, and you're going to be fine. And just work at it, guys. Just, what's coming is going to be scary. And we just all need to be as ready as we possibly can be, okay? I will see you guys all tomorrow. I hope everybody has a great night. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.